What's up, guys? Ricky here with another review on the Armored Assassin Predator. So I had a request for this, so I thought I would just put a review out. So I've had this figure for a little bit, so I do not have the box, so this will not be an unboxing, but I will break down some of the details and the articulation, etc. And I will do this one and the other armored version. So let's take a look real quick. Okay, so first we got some really good details. You got a really nice flesh tone. So this is like looks like a light beige color, and then you have some dark kind of throughout as well, just to differentiate it. I like the definitely the differentiation in tones. It looks nice. Then it looks like you have brown, a dark brown kind of painted throughout, just to give it some different details for the skin and stuff. You have a really cool looking face sculpt. Very good detail. They did a wash in the mouth that looks really nice. And I love the little spikes on the little hair here too. That looks really, really cool. It's very nice. You got some armor pieces here, right? Some really good silver, some really good leather tones, which look like they did a black or dark brown with a lighter brown dry brushed over the top. It looks like they did a wash as well. Then you have a gauntlet, really nice looking gauntlet with different tones, blues, all different types of metallics. And you can put a little gun in the gauntlet there, and also this spike, which I haven't always posed with that on in general. Then you got legs, and as you look through, you can see they have really sharp textures on the skin tone, which looks really nice too. It's really nice. And then you have the feet there. So this was the same feet that they used in the movie. So it's movie accurate, but it is very, very hard to stand. Hence why I have this Predator in front. So it's actually doing a little trick, right? Let's just say it's standing, but it's posing up on the head there. So it's actually supporting it. So if you're looking for a clever way to pose him, this is a good way to do it without having to get a stand. Looks really nice though. So we have that one there. And the only thing is, well, how about this? I will go back to, I'll show you the green one. Here, I'll actually show you the green one on its own. Okay, so here is the other one. Let me post him up here so we can have a good comparison. Okay, so here we go. So here is the armored one. So technically this one's supposed to be the unarmored, and that one's supposed to be the armored. So if we look here real quick, so you can see the details. As far as the sculpt is virtually the same. The only difference is they did a dark green tone, and then they did a maroon throughout. And even the mouth is a little bit different tone too, which looks really nice. So you have nice like purplish color with a wash on the inside that looks really good. Same thing, face sculpt looks awesome. The hair looks really similar. Same type of spikes. Not as many tone differentiation as the other one. This one is just green, just solid green, nothing else. And then with the red kind of painted throughout, which I think is kind of movie accurate. I think in the movie it got darker and just a really crazy tone when he armored. So it's really cool. So they're not the same features there, but it's really cool that this is what it looks like when it's not armored. And then when it does its little exosuit, its armor, it changes to that tone, which I think is really, really cool. So the only tricky thing that's not accurate, so this is obviously a clever way to do different paint, you know, I guess a paint variant, but still make it look cool. The only difference is to see like all these different tones. It wouldn't be armored. So if I recall from the movie, he was more smooth toned. So technically speaking, he wouldn't have all these spikes on him, and it would look a little more like a fleshy tone. But either way, that's not a huge gripe. It's just something that I noticed because I believe when he got armored up, he also got kind of spiky as well. So very cool. But other than that, like everything's virtually the same. There are slight different tones. Like here you have like the little loincloth area. This one's a little bit brighter. Has some silvers on it though too. Gauntlets are virtually identical though. And everything else. So looks really good. Okay, so here are the heads. So they also came with closed mouth. And then they had the open one, of course, that you just saw. This one looks like it's got one of the mandibles. It's a little kind of over to the side there. But overall, right, so it's got good detail. So you got a nice beige. You have some really dark brown tones, almost like a grayish tones, kind of going throughout to differentiate. It looks like it's dry brushed a little dark brown over the top on the spikes. So we got a little wash here on the side, which looks really good. Eyes look really nice. Look like there's a wash in the mouth. And obviously the little hair pieces look the same. Okay, so you have that one. And then here is the green one. So looking pretty good. So it's got a little differentiation. So it's you can tell up close, right? So it had a darker paint tone here, and then it kind of transitions and fades to a lighter green tone. I don't think it's painted by any means. I think that's just maybe what they did in the mold. And it looks like they dry brushed a little brown on the eyebrows. Didn't notice that before. Let's see. You have the cool red tones throughout. They did a wash in the mouth. Did a little dry brushing of like a purplish tone over the front of the mouth, which is kind of interesting. Interesting take there. Obviously the hair is the same, looks pretty good. Overall in this one, if you look close, looks like they kind of messed up on one of the eyes a little bit. But from a distance you can't tell, it looks good. But yeah, up close you can tell that left eye is a little different. Looks like they just got the pupil maybe in the wrong spot there, just barely. But overall looks good. So here they are side by side. And I'll let you decide which one you think looks the best. I think I like the beige one better. Overall, I think it looks nice. Just a lot more differentiation. I know this is supposed to be the armored one, and this isn't armored. But yeah, it looks really cool. Here we go with articulation. So I am going to do just the green one, so they are the same articulation, just know that. But here we go. So head looks up pretty far, so pretty darn far. That's pretty cool. Also looks down decently far, which is nice because you do want it to look down because it is such a tall predator. You do have pivot, and you do have a rotation, which is really nice as well. Now we do have shoulder articulation. Let's see. Little tricky though, so because of this thing here, so it's technically a pad, or like a little rubber piece that's put on the top of it, so you can put it over, but I didn't really like it over. I just thought that looked weird if you wanted to get more of a out of it. Otherwise I just have it under, so it really hinders going up. So yeah, so it's a little tricky there, so I'm not going to force it. It has double jointed elbows, and they also swivel, which is nice. You do have wrist articulation, so you can rotate that. It is on a ball joint. You do have diaphragm joint here, so crunches decently far, so not too bad. Crunches back pretty good, so not too bad there. Obviously it rotates, rotates side to side, which is nice. You do have the legs, they go up not quite 90 degrees. They do have double jointed knees, and then they do rotate as well, which is nice. And you do have this interesting articulation that articulates here and here as well, and this is actually on a pivot as well, so you can pivot it. So like I said, the feet are super tiny, so it is a really hard predator to stand, but it's not impossible. And there's really cool tricks, like I showed you with the other one where it's kind of posed with the the fugitive predator. This one, what you can do is what I've noticed is if you really want to pose it well, you can do kind of like this thing where if you have something to lean it against, which I like to do. So I'll kind of raise the arm up, and I'll put his arm out, and then I'll pose him in a thing, and I'll use this hand as a way to kind of like just hook onto something or grab onto something, and it holds it up pretty good. So it looks good. So you can do kind of like a cool rotation thing like that, which is nice. So, and I didn't call this out earlier, but if you look close, they actually did a dark green wash throughout it as well, like in certain spots, especially like right here. You have it in the chest area. And then I noticed a lot kind of down the leg here too, which is really cool. So like I said, so there is some differentiation there. Just did a wash instead with a dark green. So the thing did just fall off, but it's right. So it plugs right there. And his gun fell off too. So those things do fall off actually pretty easy. So it's the articulation. So decently articulated. And these joints too, they click, if you can hear it. So it's good. So they're really solid joints for this predator. Okay, here's a size comparison. We have both Assassin Predators next to each other. Right, they stand obviously the same height because they are the same figure. You have the Fugitive Predator from that same movie in front of him, and it looks like his helmet goes to about the middle of his chest, which I think feels about right. And then here's the new Stoneheart Predator standing next to him, and they are roughly the same height as well. And it's funny because I thought they recycled a lot of these pieces for both Predators, but I don't think they actually did. So you can tell the chest is different. They did, it looks like, recycle maybe the abdomen, You can tell the abdomen is, I think it's actually the same exact one, which is cool. The legs, the top thigh is similar between both of these. I think they might actually be the same. Then everything else is different. And this one actually came with big feet, which is much easier to pose. So if you would have saw behind the scenes, I got them both to pose, but it's really challenging, and they kind of fell over in the process. So yeah, obviously there's a side-by-side. You can see the differences in the tones, right? Even the mouth tones, which looks really cool. So these Predators stand about, let's see, so we're looking at about 11 inches tall, which puts us at about 28.5 centimeters. So pretty cool. So these are really tall Predators. So I say if you're thinking about getting them, I know they did reissue at least one of the colors. I can't remember which one they reissued, if it was the green one or the beige one. I just know I saw the box at the store. I didn't really open it to look inside, but I'd say it's a pretty good figure to get, in my opinion, just because it's so different and unique from the other ones. Even though it has trouble standing, I think at least having one. I don't think you need both. But yeah, I think it's something good to add to your collection. Okay, cool. Well, let's get into final thoughts real quick. Okay, final thoughts on the Assassin Predator. Like I said just a second ago, great figure. I like it. Some of the articulation is kind of tough, especially on the shoulders. The rest of the articulation isn't so bad compared to, the normal kind of standard NECA Predator articulation. But yeah, the shoulders are a little tough. And the feet, right? So the feet are the only gripes I have. I know it's movie accurate, and that is cool, but yeah, it is pretty hard to stand. But like I did say, there are some tips and tricks you can use to kind of make it better. But overall, the paint detail, the sculpt, the size, just the difference, I think is amazing. So it's so different than the other Predator line. So I think it's a must-have for your collection. And if you had to choose, I would say, if you had the option, I actually think I like the beige one better. I think it just has different, like some really cool differentiation tones, right? So you have, the beige there with black on the face, right? This one's just kind of like the standard green. I just think they did more paint application on this. So I actually prefer this one, I think, to the other. So if I had the choice, if there's only one in the marketplace right now, because I know they did reissue, I'd say get whichever one. I think it's just really cool to kind of have in the collection is a big Predator. We don't see Predators this big really that often. So, and one thing I noticed is, look, so they did different in the gauntlet. So they blackwashed this gauntlet, but did not blackwash this gauntlet. See, look how much different that looks. Huge difference, right? So if you're looking to, which I never noticed that before, so what I could do is do a blackwash real quick on that and make it look just as good. But cool to know. But yeah, I'd say if you have the option, like I said, get the beige one. But overall, really great Predator. So that's it. So hopefully you like the review. I will continue to bring reviews to you and customizations and behind the shots. So definitely check out my other videos as well. And feel free to like and subscribe. So we're at around 950 subscribers at this point. So let's get to 1,000. I think that'd be super cool to do. And other than that, just to give you an update, this video with the Lost Tribe will be coming soon. I did just get a notification from Big Bad Toy Store that my Elder Predator is close. So that means it should be shipping any day if it's anything like the Snake Predator. So hopefully next week I'll be able to get a review. Then I'll be able to do kind of like the Lost Tribe thing I've been kind of working on, the longer, lengthier video that I'll send your way. So appreciate it, guys. Thank you all so much, and I will catch you later.